Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Sarah Moon, and today I'm going to be reviewing Blackwood Crossing. I did a walkthrough on the series. I say walkthrough, but I did it very loosely. If you'd like to see it, I'll link it in the description below. It's a pretty short game. You're probably wondering whether or not you should buy it. The way I'm going to format this is I'm going to talk over gameplay, story, appearance, overall rating, and then I'll tell you if you should get it. These will be timestamped in the description below if you're interested to skip to that part. I'm also going to be reviewing the game with no spoilerinos, so if you want to discuss the game without spoiling for others, feel free to message me on my Facebook page, listed on the screen and in the description below. So let's jump into the review. So, Blackwood Crossing was really good, but not great. It depends on what you were expecting from the game. First, I'm going over gameplay. One of my problems with the gameplay was that Scarlet, the main character that you play as, moved pretty slowly. Given this is something that could have been intentional by the game developers just because you're supposed to move through the story at your own pace, and it probably explore a little, but it ended up being distracting for me at times from the story just because I was so impatient about getting down the goddamn train. If there was a run function in addition to the default walking speed, this would have been ideal. Motion-wise, the gameplay of Blackwood Crossing was pretty smooth. I played it on my Xbox controller, but if you use your mouse there are no problems. The game is played in first person and the perspective of it flows pretty well with the gameplay. The puzzles were entertaining, but I do have to admit that there were not many clues as to how to accomplish the puzzles within the game. I'm not saying that puzzles should hold your hand and clearly direct you to what you have to do because it then wouldn't be a puzzle, but maybe I'm just bad. There are parts where you have to match people based on their dialogue, but other parts where you're pretty much left in the dark with only a comment from Scarlet as an indicator as to what you should do. This can lead to frustration in addition to the slow walking. So you're going to have a little bit of patience. There was little gameplay in general in Blackwood Crossing, so if you're someone who wants something as engaging as BioShock, you may be a little bit disappointed. On the flip side, if you just want to be immersed in the story and follow along as a sort of elevated visual novel, you'll find the game pretty pleasant. That being said, let's move on to the review of the story. The story of Blackwood Crossing was probably the game's main selling point, which you can also notice in the Steam Store's page reviews. I'm going to be pretty vague here to prevent spoilerinos, but the story was quite surreal and quite ambiguous to the end. In a way, I spent the game wondering how the story would end, and there was a conclusion of sorts, but not necessarily one that was satisfying considering the multitude of questions you will have by the end of the game. That being said, I really did enjoy the story and it moved me deeply. I suppose I just wish I could get more of an explanation at the end for some more closure. I'm going to move on to appearance. The game was definitely beautiful, and even with the cartoony style, the developers still managed to add in a fair amount of detail. The surrealist element to it was easy to become submerged in, and you find yourself just as enchanted and confused as Scarlet is when you play. I loved how it looked, and that's really all I have to say about that. My overall rating for this game is going to be a 6 out of 10. It will be higher for you if you enjoy low interaction puzzle games and very paced progression. Finally, the ending part to the review, should you get it. Right now, the game is regularly priced at $15.99. I say get it for sure, but only when it's on sale. Keep in mind that this game is short and took me about 2 hours to finish it, with filming and breaks in between where I left it open. That was my short and sweet review of Blackwood Crossing. I hope this was helpful to you in making a decision about playing it or getting it. If you have any comments of your own, go ahead and leave them below. If you'd like more content like this, go ahead and subscribe to my channel. I really appreciate that you watch this, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!